Yo, what's up? I'm Smog here, and today I'll just be doing a live stream on how I make videos with OBS Studio, Figma, Final Cut Pro, and Descript. So there are a couple of shots on this channel, and you can see that all of these videos have different formats. All of these videos are filmed inside of OBS, and depending on the type of video, say for example, this particular video where I have something that is describing what the video does, right? There is a design which I make in Figma. I'm going to show you how I do that. And there is a template that I use in that to like make this. Also, for this kind of video where there's a code sample and there's my face showing here, there's a different template that I use for that inside of OBS. So these are like the kind of things that I'm going to be walking you through. How you can create templates inside of OBS, how you can export the video and take it into Final Cut Pro to edit, and you can use Descript in order to do the transcription. So if you see a video like this, so something like this, I actually don't need to like do this manually inside of After Effects or any other software. I just use the script to do this transcription and it adds this nice animation to it as well. So yeah, so let's just get started and let's just get into it. So of course, this is a live stream, so I won't take things like serious. I'm just going to like pace it and to ensure that you can like understand like the things I'm going to like teach and all of that. So the first place to start, or where I'm going to start from, is actually inside of Figma. And what I do inside of Figma is really simple and straight to the point. You can just create an artboard, right? Then you've created the artboard, then just adjust the size to, let's say, 1920 by 1080, 1920 by 1080. Of course, you should have some knowledge of Figma. Don't expect that it is in this video that you're going to like learn everything about Figma. It should be 1080 by 1920 actually, right? And you should note these numbers or these values because that's literally like what you're going to use throughout the entire videos that you are going to be creating, from Figma to OBS Studio to Final Cut Pro to Descript. Like every software that you're going to use, you are going to use this same size for it. So if you have like some form of template or some form of color, you just want to like throw that in there, right? And one thing you want to pay attention to is where the position of your camera is going to be. So for me, what I did before now is if I come into OBS Studio, so let me just go into OBS Studio. Okay, yeah. So inside of OBS Studio, I'll still talk through all of this, right? But you see that there is a camera that I have inside of here, inside of OBS Studio, and there's kind of a position that the camera is in already. So what I did was just to take a screenshot inside of OBS Studio. So I just took a screenshot inside of OBS Studio. Then I just brought that in here, right? Brought that in here, then just expanded it so that it touches the edge. You can see it's the same size exactly. So I then, of course, I know that this is the camera area, right? Then I'm able to, oh shit. Then I can remove this guy now. So this helps me to create the gray area of where I know my camera is going to be. So what that allows me to do is to create some text inside of here that I can then export, and I know that it's never going to touch or overlap on the camera, or the camera is going to block it eventually. So I can just come over here and add a text and say live stream on how to use OBS, Figma, scripts, and Final Cut Pro. Boom. And that's that for that. So I can come over here, export this guy as JPEG. I hope my audio is working. If the audio is not working, then that's a big problem. So okay, no wala. So I can just come to documents. If you have a folder for your project or for works you are working on, you can just go into that folder. I'm going to create a new folder and just say live stream OBS, right? Then I'm going to call it live stream OBS backdrop. Backdrop. Amazing. So that's that for that. So the next thing is, so, and by the way, most of all these tools are actually free. OBS is free, Figma is free, Descript is free as well, even though there's a premium version. Then Final Cut Pro is free as well. Okay, yeah. So you have this backdrop now. So I'm just going to go ahead and now talk about like the various settings inside of OBS, right? So by default, OBS is going to give you something in landscape, something like maybe like 1920 by 1080 and stuff, right? You can change this up, right, by simply coming over to okay, give me a sec. So if I add, oh shit, let me just, so if you come over to settings, right, and you go to output, no, not output, video, right, you can change the size of the canvas essentially. So right now we have 1080 by 920. So you can come over here. By default, it will most likely be like 1920 by 1080. If I do okay, so this is what OBS will give you by default. But if you are making videos like shots, which is supposed to be vertical, or portraits, which is what YouTube will allow you upload shots to be, you can just come over here to settings, click on output, no, not output, click on video, then come down here and say come over here first, then this should give you option for custom or something. Okay, you can just type it in actually. So you can just do 1080 by 1920. Yeah, so this was quite tricky when I wanted to do it for the first time. So 1980 by 1020. So it's going to allow you to do that now. So click on OK, boom, and you're good to go. So because I create shots of different formats, one thing that OBS allows you to do is create different sources for, let's say, your camera, your audio, and all of that, right? So the first template that I have, which if you come over here, if you check YouTube, the first template that I have, or the first type of video that I started making, was videos like this, where I will have something in the background and I'm going to have my face here. So with this, the way to do this inside of OBS is just to come over here and click on this plus icon, and this plus icon simply means that you want to add another source of data. Or let's say, yeah, it simply means you want to add another source of data, let's say a camera or something. So in this case, I'm going to do video capture. So I'm going to do video capture. I'm just going to do live stream video capture. Live stream video capture. Then it's going to say device FaceTime HD camera, which is this camera. Then presets. I'm just going to leave everything as default as it is right now. Then it's going to add this up automatically, right? So I can drag this guy down over here, right? And just adjust this from the ends, right? However, and just like adjust it from the edges here. However, there is a little problem, and the problem is that this guy is in landscape. What I want is something that will be square. So in order to do this, just select Alt or Option. So that I'm on Mac, so I'm using the Option key. So if you click on the Option key over here, you can actually crop the camera source, right, to something that's going to look square according to like what you want. So what that means is I can come here now and adjust this guy further, and adjust this guy further, and you are good to do, and you are good to go. So if you would be recording your screen, right, if you are going to be recording your screen for like a video like this, so let me just open up VS Code. Sorry, that's the kind of content that I make, or the kind of videos that I make. I'm just going to do code, Visual Studio Code. Okay, yeah. So I can just adjust the size of this to look like this, right, or minimize it. Then come over to OBS Studio, right? Then just add a new source. And this time it's going to be a screen or window capture. Window capture, yeah. So I'm just going to say coding screen. I'm just going to say coding screen. You can name this anything. Oh, okay, yeah. So it says so this is all the available options. So I'm just going to do desktop. Okay, definitely not this one. Not this. Is there a VS Code here? I'm looking for VS Code. VS Code is not here. I'm guessing it should not be video capture. It should not be. It shouldn't be this. It shouldn't be a window capture. So I can just always delete this. Yes, please remove it. Remove it. Then add a new source. There should be a screen capture. Or okay, yeah, display capture. So code screen. code screen. Oh, yes, perfect. So it asks you for the device that you want to do, that you want to take. So I'm just going to do this. I'm going to select this guy by default. Click on OK. Then, of course, it means that I need to minimize OBS. So if you are going to be doing a recording of your screen, I would just advise that you kind of just look for a way to like make sure that you are using two screens or two monitors. So right now I am using two monitors, so it's easier for me to like to work with, right? So I can test the position of this guy. If I move OBS to the other screen, then you won't be able to see things again. Okay, I guess I can move OBS. I can move this guy to this other screen. I can move it to this other screen. Then I can come over here and say code screen, right? Properties, then change this to the other monitor, soft. Cool. So what that means is I can now come over here and adjust this guy. It's overlapping it, but I'm going to resolve that soon and just make sure that it is well positioned. Adjust the height, adjust the width, just to make sure it fits my use case. Right. Cool. Adjust this guy a bit. Adjust this guy a bit. You can see. So now this is showing on screen. For my face to show on top of this guy now, I just need to bring this to the top and boom. And that's that for that. So in order to record, all you just need to do is press the record button. Hi guys, my name is Aremo Small. Welcome to WebBoss YouTube channel. And boom, you're good to go. So once you stop recording, you can just come over here and come over to File and click on Show Recordings. It's going to show you to the folder that contains all the recordings. The last thing here will most likely be your recording. Open it up, save it up, and you have a very good layout or composition that you can work with. Yeah, so that's the first kind of template that I use to make shots inside of OBS Studio. So the second layout is very similar to the previous layout. The only difference is just, so I'm just going to talk through that particular one. So the second layout is basically me just showing my face. So I'm in people's face. So I'm in people's face, and then I'm talking about how, like, I'm talking about things, and there is some form of design in the background. So the way the design works or the backdrop works is just come over here and add a new source. Add a new source, say image. Yeah, click on image, and I can just name this live stream backdrop. Live stream backdrop. Then you can browse for the image that you want. So in this case, I'm just going to come over to Documents, WebBoss, then I'm going to click on Short, and I'm going to do live stream OBS. Then I can select this image, click open, okay, boom. So what that means is if I now come to my talk cam, I have to make sure that this is on top of it. So this is my talk cam and it's already almost here, right? Then I can adjust this guy. Then I can adjust this guy. I can adjust this guy. Wow, somebody just brought my attention to something that an emoji is not working with the emoji on this banner. So let me just quickly edit that. Okay, let me just take OBS off screen so that's okay. Yeah. So I'm just trying to adjust the emoji on the banner. Okay, I have to hide it first, then edit, then save. Okay, yeah, then let's bring it back. Amazing. Yeah, fixed. So let me just fix. Oh, cool. Nice. So we're back. Yep. So this OBS Studio. So right. So I have the camera, right? Then I have this text behind it. So what that means is that if I want to make another video that is of this format, I can just simply come over here, right click on it and click on properties and click on browse. then I can change the image just to fit into like the theme of whatever new video I'm making, right? So, and that's that for that. So there is endless possibilities when it comes to like working with OBS, like create videos and all of that, right? You can create as many templates as possible for your use case. So for my use case, this is just like the two formats that I need. So I can just continue to add things on top of here to just depict like the video or pass some information about the video, since YouTube does not allow you to use custom thumbnails on shorts yet. So yeah, so that's that regarding OBS. There's actually one last thing about OBS which I have not used personally, because since I do some form of post-production or editing, right, which is you can actually add various scenes to a video or to your recording. So if I click on this now and say new scene, let me just do live stream, right? Click on OK. Then I can add a new source here. Let's say image. Let me add an image source here. Let me add an image source here and say tests. Okay. Then let me look for an image. I'll just look for web boss. I should have just chosen shots or something. Okay, yeah. So let me just choose okay, let me just choose this Happy New Year. Okay, let me choose this guy. Click on OK. Yeah. So what that means is, so I have this image here right now, right? What that means is in the process of recording a video. So let me just say I start on this scene and I click on start recording. Hey everybody, I remove small gear. I'll be telling you a few things and all of that, right? And I just want to let you know that I would like to know what brought you joy this week. Please just drop your comments in the comment section and all of that, right? So what that means is that, so let me stop recording. So I've stopped recording now. Let me go to files, show recordings, then scroll down and look for the last recording. So if I play this recording now, obviously you're not going to hear my voice or anything, right? But you see that there's a transition from the first scene to the second scene. So this feels like you're giving a presentation and you're just able to like switch between scenes, right? If you're going to do something like this, I would definitely advise that you're working with a team. Maybe you're doing a live stream where you need to like move between a whole lot of things, right? I would advise that you're probably like working with a team. There's somebody behind the scene that's just like making the transitions happen and all of that. So that's definitely something you can try out. So that's how you create the video inside of OBS. And one thing, like one tip from my end is that when I make videos inside of OBS, I try to make sure that I try to take it in one take, right? So that by the time I'm doing editing in post-production, I don't spend a lot of time in post-production, right? So the next thing or the next software that we're going to be working with is Final Cut Pro. So we've looked through how to create templates inside of Figma. Then we've looked into how to put those templates together inside of OBS Studio and actually record the videos. Then the next thing is now chopping the video or removing the unwanted parts of the video. And I do that with Final Cut Pro. So Final Cut Pro is actually free for the first 90 days, even when they bring out a new version. So that's definitely something that you want to try out, right? So these are like a bunch of videos that I've worked on, but I'm just going to start a fresh project. And most of these settings, even though the focus is kind of on YouTube Shorts, you can use most of these settings for like videos that you want to create down the line as well. So so I'm just going to come over here and say new project. I'm just going to say YouTube live stream. I'm going to say YouTube live stream, right? Then the video format will be 1080, right? Then yeah, the video format will be 1080, but instead of 1080 HD, I'm just going to click on custom. So that allows us to change what the size of the video can be. So instead of 1920 by 1080, the resolution will now be 1080 by 1920. Then click on OK. So this automatically creates a project that has a size of 1920 by 1080. And to add a new file to this project, you can just come over here. I think I had a folder open. So let me just go back to OBS. I don't know, it's just easier for me to find things from OBS, the files from OBS faster. So I'm just going to come over here and say show recordings. Scroll down, then open Final Cut Pro. You can use Adobe Premiere Pro, but I'm kind of used to Final Cut Pro, even though I don't have the license yet, but it is free to use for the first 90 days. So I can just come over here and drag this video in here. Okay, drag it into this place. Okay, that seems not to be working. No, it should work. It has to work. Why will it not work? Like, I try to do this every time. Okay, so let's see. Oh, interesting. Let me click on Shots. Let me click on an event. Okay, yeah, then I can add this guy in here now. Cool. So I have this guy here now. Then I can come here and drag it to the timeline. It's as easy as that, right? So the basic features that you need to know about Final Cut Pro, you don't need to know like how everything inside of Final Cut Pro works for you to be able to do stuff inside of Final Cut Pro. Is basically how to chop stuff that you need and you don't need, right? So let's say, for example, you have content from, let's say, this place, from here, right? You want to cut this place off. You want to cut off this place and just adjust it further. You can press B on your keyboard for the blade key, for the blade tool. That allows you to like come in the middle here and cut that. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So let me click on A for anchor tool. So what that means is I can come in here now and just adjust these guys from the edge. You can just do that and adjust this from the edge. If you need to cut at any point, just click on B, go to the point where you want to cut, press A, then come to the end here. This is not a master class into OBS. This is just like do it yourself OBS kind of thing, right? Then if you need to add sound to this, you can easily import the sound just like the same way I did. You can just drag the assets that you need inside of here. So I'm just going to pick an audio that I have in here already, drag it inside of here, boom, and you're good to go. So you can just add the sound here. You can see that right now the video ends over here, but the sound extends further. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to click on B, press A, click on this guy which I do not need, and come down. So a few things that you also want to note, like when you are editing videos like this, is sometimes you want the sound to go lower. So right now you can't hear the sound because the headsets that I'm using apparently like can't propagate sound from here into the live stream. But if you want the sound of this background music to go down, you can just adjust this guy here, just over on this guy here. There's like a line here. Oh shit, let me remove the banner. You can't see it. Let me remove the banner. Okay, yeah. So there's a yellow line here. There's a yellow line here. There's a yellow line here that you can just adjust to adjust the volume of the video. There is one other thing I wanted to mention which seemed to have escaped my mind right now. But yeah, you can just add this guy up here and you're good to go. Another thing is if you want to add B-rolls, which are just like additional shots to like make the video a bit much more interactive, you can just layer those on top of this. Sure, you get B again, cut this part, which is the only part that I need, then delete. So you have like the main shot here, there is music, there's something else, you go and boom, you are good to go. So you can add more sounds. You can adjust the sound. You can zoom out here. I just pinched, like when you pinch something to zoom out or to zoom in, then you have this guy in here. You have all these various guys and you're good to go. To export this is actually very simple. So yeah, this is like basically all I do inside of Final Cut Pro. There are more advanced stuff that you can do. You can even like design these things inside of Final Cut Pro, but I personally just avoid doing that. So which is why I do a lot of setup inside of Figma and OBS before I even get into Final Cut Pro. And all I just need to do is chop off the things that I don't need from this particular from the video itself. So that means you are thinking about a lot of what the video would look like in the end before you even like start making the video itself. So what next? So you can adjust the volume of your video. This particular video does not have any audio, so that's why like I'm not talking about adjusting the volume. And to export the video, so there are two ways you can export a video, right? So you can just come over here and click on export, and I'm going to select MP4. Then it's going to give you an estimated value of the video. Click on next. Then I'm just going to say YouTube live stream testing. Then click on save. And it shouldn't take so much time. So let me just go to document, web boss, shots, then global search and VS code. Okay, yeah. So it's still exporting. Yeah. So this the progress here, the export progress is here. I don't know if you can see this. So let's just give it a minute. I think you can click on it to see the yeah. So you can see yeah. When it's done, it shows you a preview that you can just watch immediately. So if I click on this guy, so obviously there is a problem because this is a 1 minute long video, and I'm not sure the entire video is even up to 1 minute. So what you can do in order to avoid this is so which is like the second way or second thing that you can do before you export. Just come over here, right, and close this guy up. Then come over to Mac and click on set range start. Click on enter. Then drag it to the end of where you want to export it to. I think this used to be the default way to actually export in Final Cut Pro. Then if I click on export now, click on MP4, you will see that the size is smaller compared to what we had before. Before we had 170 something MB, now we just have 25.1 MB. So click on next. I'm just going to replace this guy and click on save, replace. I think it's done. Is it okay? Yeah. So it's exporting 36%, 62, 77, 84, 100%. Boom. So exactly the same video, but exported rightly. Cool. So the other thing that I wanted to quickly talk about the other time is, let's say, for example, you have a video, right? You have a video like this, right? And you don't want to export all of this video. You just want to export like a portion of this video. You can, let me see if I can, okay, you can zoom in. But if you come over to the edge here, you can see that you have something that is adjustable from the edges, right? And it has like this yellow outline around it. So you can adjust this guy and simply just drag and drop it. It's not going to export the entire video. Let me try and bring in the entire video. No. So let me try to bring it from end to end just to show you that this guy is shorter. The one I brought in before is shorter. You can see. We tried the same video, but for this guy, this was just a portion. This guy is the full video. So that's something that's really helpful as well, especially like when you're editing and you just don't want to, like, you have large images or large files that you don't want to bring in and stuff. So what else? So once you are done with editing, adding your sound and everything inside of Final Cut Pro, then the final destination is the script. Is the script. And the script is actually quite heavy. So I would not advise that you have any other heavy application running while you are using the script. So just give it a sec. So you can just click on new project. So I'm just going to click on, so retrieving, I'm just going to say YouTube live stream, right? While you can choose a file, you can record, start, write, and all of those things, or start from a template. I'm just going to choose a file to transcribe. Then I'm just going to pick one of the old videos that I have here. Document, web boss, document, web boss. Then I'm just going to click on shots, front end error. Then click on this guy, open, right? Then it's going to ask me what I want to do to this guy. So I can just select the speaker name. I'll just put a remote in here. This is actually not needed for this particular thing. I'm just going to click on done. So let's just wait for it. It's actually currently transcribing. So 50%, into the transcription process. So this is transcribing now. So by the time this video is done, it's going to give us something similar to this, where we have a video, you have the text showing up and all of that. But just give it a sec. 50% into the transcription process. Okay, yeah. So you see, this is done. The transcription process is done now, right? But many a times, okay, let me just play this first as the background of your website section, because there's an error. Because if there's an error, either due to spelling or network error, the website is going to go blank, and the user is not going to be able to read text in that section of the website. In order to fix this, yeah. So there tend to be, or many a times there could be a grammatical error in the transcription, which means that what you have said is not what the software has transcribed to. So what you can simply do is just come over here, double click on it. Oh, they've updated this. So okay, right, then correct, and I'm just going to do this, then click on correct. So you change the text and it's going to take some form of shape. So what that means essentially is that you can edit this text. It's not cast in stone, right? So when you are done and you want to add this transcription, this text that shows up, let me come over here and let me click on short. Let me see. Yeah. So if you want to add this animated text on top, there seems to be some upgrade to this, but I'm sure I'm going to figure it out. You can just come over here. Come over here. Wow, there's so much changes that has happened. There's so much changes that has happened to this software since I last used it. But I'm just going to look for. So what I'm looking for is called fancy captions. Okay, yeah, exactly. Wow, this the last time I used this, everything worked fine. Maybe there was an update overnight or something. Yeah. So right now you have fancy captions. I want to zoom this out. Oh, nice. On this guy, I think you can change the position. Oh, you can't change the position now. Oh, interesting. So live texts, then you should have more options. You should have more options for, yeah, animation. Let me see. Zoom in. Oh, no, that's not what I want. So what I want is to animate this further. Did I just break this fantastic tool all in the name of making an upgrade? Wow. So captions, speaker, no. Captions, then what else do you need me to do here? Filter speaker, nope. Wow. Okay, active words, okay. Oh, nice. Okay, they actually made it better. In the past, you had to set another settings. Okay, yeah, cool. So okay, yeah, cool. So it means that whatever the theme of your brand is, you can just come here and set the color, right? So in this case, I'm just going to do, no, black is terrible for something like this. I'm just going to do blue. Yes. Then so this animates the text for you automatically. And when you are done, you are sure that the text is okay, the text is all right. You can just come over here and click on publish. They've made this thing so much better. Then click on export, right? Export it as a video. Export it as a video. If you want to remove, oh, so you have the option to remove watermark because it's going to automatically slam the Descript watermark on this. But if you want to upgrade, I think okay, yeah, $15 per month. I think this is cheaper now. Before it used to be like $30 or so. Makes a lot of sense. So you can click on publish, export, export, YouTube live stream, transcribed or anything. So waiting for the video to get exported or exporting the video. So now if somebody asks me a question on how I make YouTube shorts, I just need to send them this video and everybody will be all right. So, and by the way, you should probably check out more videos on how to like use Final Cut Pro. This video is not comprehensive enough for you to succeed with Final Cut Pro. Okay, yeah. So video export completed. Click on open. So let's see what this gives us. So, and you can see you have this animated text here, and boom, you are good to go. You can now export. You can now export it. You can now export the video and like just like basically just move on with life and do stuff, right? And that's the end of this live stream. I postponed this live stream 2 times because I'm like, what's the point of making a video like this, right? So if anybody ever watches this live stream, even up to the point or to the end of this video, don't forget to drop a comment in the comment section. And also, we are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Please subscribe and share with someone that you think will find this helpful. Cheers, and don't forget to build like a boss.